Hello, Perfect Death here, and I figured I'd do a quick, probably just a single video on Songs of Syx again. This game got some more updates recently, and I tried it out to see what was going on. And I figured I'll do a video that's more of like a starting hour playthrough of it. So when you want to start, your starting population determines like what your initial batch of people that you start your city off with. You can then do a mix of other races later on, or just decide to just stick to that one. So I think in this case I'll go for the Tilapi. I haven't really done a start with them, but you can see they give you a general idea. Like, they like forests. They're pretty good at raising animals. They do like meat as one of their food types, and also fruit. And so when you are doing that, that can kind of tell you where you want to go for the types of food that you want to produce. Now, I do have these various titles that I can use, but for this I'm going to leave it at 0. Some of these are actually really powerful, like the leader, for example, gives you a bunch of extra people at the start and also more knowledge. That helps you just clear through a lot of the early game without having to just take time immigrating people in. Some of these might be interesting to try out, like if you had slaver, but I think these are unlocked by you getting certain kinds of achievements. So yeah, some of these are just like bonuses to production modifiers and things like that, but I'll just leave these blank. And yeah, we'll just go empty there. So when you've randomly generated your world, you can always just hit the regenerate if you want to try out a different one. Since I'm doing the Tilapis, they really do like the temperate climate. You'll usually see like a cold climate at the top. You can click on this and you can find things like climate. And so you can see the blue dots are going to be cold biomes. Those are good for hunting and fishing, but not so much for like farming and also raising a bunch of different types of animals. And then on the opposite end, when you go to the hot biomes, these are, they're pretty good for farming certain things. Certain other more exotic stuff is available there, but some animals are hard locked out, kind of similar with the cold. Actually, you can raise anything in the cold, but temperate, you can see it has some negative bonuses, like it doesn't grow mushrooms or opium or the lizard the lizard animals that you can raise. Yeah, a little bit bad on the cotton. So hot climates do like cotton, so it can depend on the kinds of resources you're going to go for. You can kind of see things like deposits. Like if you really wanted coal, you can see that you can quickly use this tool to see that there's coal over here. Or maybe you want Scythalon, and then you might go and look around to see if there's some rich Scythalon nodes, but generally Scythalon's pretty rare. You might find in some mountains, but you're not going to get a lot of that stuff. Ores and gems, these can be pretty useful, and then clay's another one to look at. Usually clay's around fresh water, because you have ocean water, salty water, and then you have your it's referred to as sweet water in this case. So I'm gonna do, and then you have fertility, but in this case, for this particular kind of group, we do want lots of trees because they do, the Tilapi like building with wood. But what I'm gonna do in this case is I'm gonna look through, and you can see on the left I have different types of tax resources that will change depending on the region. So like this region here, for example, I can tax gems. So when I get big enough, I can just tax gems out of an area. Some of these are pretty useful because of that. Like this one has a ton of clay that it can tax, or very efficient clay taxes. So you can just, you know, go through, you can look around and say, oh, maybe I want a certain tax resource. Then you don't have to mine it or harvest it so much. You can just rely on your taxes to get it. Some territories, like this one, is just wood. This one's just wood. And so usually, like, again, depending on the kind of thing you're going for, like if you wanted industry, then you probably would want some coal, some iron, maybe gems, that sort of thing. Yeah, you can see this one up here has a really high efficiency on gems. And I could actually even go into this place. Like there's a little wood spot down here. I could find like where the temperate bonus is, and I could go into this place with the temperate, and I'd be able to just tax for stone and gems. And let's see, I'm honestly not too sure what I would want for the Tilapi, just because they do a lot of stuff with wood, animals, and archery, right? They're really good archers. So I might just do that. I don't see any Scythalon tax, because sometimes you'll find a region that has Scythalon tax, which is pretty good. But yeah, I think I might just go for that, to be honest. Let's go. I don't really need that much water either. And yeah, that'll have clay, stuff like that. So sure, let's try it. Load that up. And now you can also do a similar kind of rerolls, and you'll see up on the top here the landing party resource distribution. Rerolling this will change where these resources are and the sort of densities of them. So if you wanted to do a lot of gem mining yourself, then you would probably want to reroll till that's a high number, and then that means when you find a gem deposit, like this is the Scythalon deposit here, it's actually pretty okay for Scythalon. But yeah, you can also look for like where's the clay, right? Just, this isn't really any clay down here. This is just where the fruits are. This is where the coal is. So, and then over here we've got a somewhat low ore. It's got two good spots of ore in there. And yeah, this actually doesn't have too dense of forests. It's got some right here. So when I'm looking around, when you look for like forest densities, that's more for making a high density woodcutter. As the more trees that you are building your woodcutter area in, that means more workers, more wood production. So like a lower density spot like over here, you're still going to get wood out of it. It won't employ as many people, it won't produce as much for the area. So I'm kind of thinking about setting up over in this area, to be honest. And so I think I'll do that and just like stick this maybe here. Just go with that. And then for the sake of it, I'll just throw a road like that. And as for what you want to do usually at the start, I'll usually just set some wood cutting orders. Cut a bunch of wood there. This might be a little, I got some decent rock spots around here, so I won't need too much rock, but some rock would be useful. And then just let them go at it. Chop down some of this while they're doing that. That'll give me some building resources, and then I'll be able to set up some of my first things. Now, I won't be able to get by off of a hunter tool for very long. This region doesn't have very high animal density, so hunters are really good at producing food per worker, until you start to thin out the amount of animals in the area, and then it takes them longer to hunt them, and then there's less animals around to hunt in them anyway. But I will be setting up a hunting lodge, and then I'll also want to do the livestock as well. So I'll just let them go through here, chop, chop, chop. We got plenty of, rations and fruit. So, and now that we've cleared out some of that, let us... I think what I'm going to do with this is... I might make a circular one. Some of these guys will like different shaped buildings. There might be... I usually don't pay attention to it, honestly. I tend to just build square stuff anyway, but I think some of them like, round things. Some of them like square buildings. So, but yeah, you can see here, they like wood. So I don't have to worry about making anything out of, cut stone and things like that. And yeah, over here we can also see some of their bonuses. They like wood cutting, they like raising most of these animals, they like making bows, and that's really about it. They're pretty simple. But let's... I didn't want to filter. Let's go for that warehouse. Now, to do things that aren't square, you can just go down to, say, a ellipse shaped building, and so then you pick a spot and then it'll turn into a round one like that. Now you'll see there's these yellow tiles. That means that it won't be able to you'll have lower isolation for doing that. Isolation doesn't really matter too much. This is more the resource cost for building this. Right, it costs more resources the more yellow you have. So you'll want to get rid of that, or else it'll just cost you a little too much. And then I'm gonna plant you. I'm actually gonna rotate that around. Like, do I want to do that? This is probably the biggest dilemma, is how do you set up your storages? Right, because there's a lot of different ways that you can set these things up however you want. And it's a bit tricky when you're doing something with, like how I was setting it up there. So if I wanted to, I could try something like that, and then just go and make it, somewhat pretty to look at. I'll do it actually like this, because these little smaller squares are like torches. So and then I wonder, do I want... I'm not looking to make something that is nice and efficient. You don't actually need to worry about making everything really efficient in this game, honestly. Yeah, and that's going to cut that building off. So you can see lots of space. Do I need to have that much space? No, but oh well. And now you can see I'm starting to get some isolation when I do this, which it's not... I've heard some people run on 0 isolation, and the added maintenance cost really isn't that much. So I do wonder, let's see, can I fit? And not quite. I could do that, I guess. Yeah, might as well. There we go. Not the most dense, but honestly, sometimes you can just build things fun. Make it look nice. So I'll set that up. I only have 10 workers, by the way. This is normally, like, if I start with all the population bonuses, I'm at 65 at the very start, so you get a lot of things done right away. But your people aren't very happy. The more population you get, the more needy they become. So I think I might start planning out one of the other buildings, and that is going to be the eatery, so that you can start getting bonuses. Yeah, I need to shuffle that down. Yeah. Honestly, I might just switch it over to squares again. So what is this? This is a 8x8 square. Starting there. Okay. I'll start with an 8x8. Meanwhile, they'll just build their stuff, so. And that one goes down there. Yep. There we go. Symmetry. Now the eatery, pretty much the same as this actually. Now you could do something to try to get a little more density going, which I might do, just because eateries, you'll see here as I add more of these boxes, the amount of services go up. And so then this can support like a population of 50. And I might do something like that. Something like that. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really have the same kind of shape for some of these structures. So it can't really fit very much in there, can it? Not as convenient, is that? Well, I might just build it just around one of these instead. And yeah, why not? I'll have it closer to this though. Let's see, I want that lined up. I think I can do something like that. Yeah, look at that. There we go. New design. And then we'll throw you in there, throw you in there. Look at that, 140. This is an eatery that'll support 140 people. And I think, you know what, let's put the doors over here. 94 isolation. Lots of wide doors. Lots of room for them to wander around in there. Because they generally don't fit in the same square. So you can make do with just one little squeezing space for them. But sometimes these things get so packed with people that it's kind of nice to give them a little room to roam around in. And they will want houses as well. Now, how much... There's a way to find out how much they care about privacy. I think it's labeled privacy. It's in this list here. This is one of the newer things that they added with the different types of houses. And yeah, so they have a level 2 on housing. I know some of them don't really care about housing at all. Like these guys here. Says they're okay with it. Trying to remember what it's called again. If I go over to housing, homes, this one is, yeah, it's called privacy here. But it's not listed there, so sometimes they get labeled differently, I think. I do know that they like furniture, and this is what you install in your houses anyway. So, but yeah, like the Garthemi, for example, I know, yeah, they're about level 4 on their furniture. Yeah, they're level 4 as well. There was something. I remember Garthemi don't really care much about their houses. They have like very little furniture that they care about. But yeah, for foods, preferred foods, since I'm going Tilapi's, meat, fruit, and eggs. So, won't have to worry too much about the meat when I get a hunter going. So I think I might just set that up as well here. Yeah, let's do it over. I want a yeah. Let's widen that out. And then you need a 100. Yeah, there we go. So that'll get me 4 hunters, which is quite a lot, actually. It's going to... I'm only really going to need 4 hunters for pretty much the entire lifetime of this city, honestly. You really don't need much of them, so... And they're pretty close to finishing the warehouse. And warehouse is done, so I'm just gonna auto-employ 2 right now. I care about that. Hey, that. I want fruit as well. We'll have animals. I'll have that. I do know I'll need furniture. And that. And then yeah, I can bump up the food. I'll put eggs in. Let's bump up the wood another tick. Oh yeah, and leather. I might want 2 for leather. Let's go up to 1,000 for meat. I don't really need too much storage for the building materials. If I go over, that's fine. I might... Let's see, what do I have for wild edibles? I've got some opium, some cottons. Since I won't need to eat the vegetables, those I can just export and just make some money. Is there anything close by that I could also harvest? Not really. There's just that one little patch. Yeah. One little patch over here. Which would be good for getting a supply of the fruit for now. So. But that does mean we will want a cotton, we'll want an opium, and a vegetable. And I'll probably then want wood and yeah, fabrics, just because might as well. So eventually this will sort out how many workers it'll need. I just put 2 in there just so they can just start loading things up right away. At some point we'll want to get into research. A speaker is actually a really good option for an early research because it gives you a lot of happiness for relatively little resource. And some of my other bonuses, like crafting bows, for example. That's one of our specialties. Also procreation, if you don't want to have to worry so much about importing people. Doing the procreation route will get you younger population, and also it'll allow you to get a school, which boosts your education a lot. Thinking about it, I'm going to need the janitor set up here. So I think I'll just put the janitor here, to be honest. Square building won't look as good, but oh well. Technically you can change it, but it has isolation penalties, so that way it'll get rid of any, as degradation happens, it increases a penalty on that building's efficiency. So and yeah, this is full. Now another thing to keep an eye on is how much you're giving, like food rations and things like that. I don't care about these guys eating any of these foods, so I'll just disable them. I'll let them eat rations if they want to eat rations. And then just wait on until everything gets built. There we go, the hunter is done. Now it always sets it at about 50%, but honestly you can just crank that up to 4, but I do have a limited population anyway, so but this is gonna get me meat. And then when the eatery is done and the meat goes to the eatery, they're gonna get a mood bonus from the meat and the fruit. I should also look at getting a fruit farm going then as well, just because yeah, they do like fruits. So I'm just gonna chew up the grass here a little bit, because I know the fertility is pretty low over here. Oop. What's the fertility like? It's starting to drop. Yeah, I want to try to keep it at least 90. At least a 99. How about this? Yeah, there we go. 7 farmers. Yearly output 200. I won't be able to finish this because they're eating all of the fruit. But yeah, you'll see they've put vegetables in here, so that's not going to give them a mood boost. I'll keep eggs stocked there. No mushrooms, no fish. But yeah, I can kick out the fruit from here, or the vegetables, so it's just fruit and meat available. And then that way we get the mood bonus. So you can already see they're starting to get happier just because there's meals sitting there. And I am going to increase their food rations to 2. That'll increase this bar, and that also gives them a health bonus as well. And I might just start getting some roads built here. So get some roads going there. And yeah, I should start also getting homes set up for them. Now, I do generally try to avoid just square house lines, but honestly, I might just do that anyway. Just for some of this starting area. But yeah, this will give me 18 houses right here. And then boom, there we go. Plenty of space for a early big expansion. Kick up the speed. And then just accept some more people. Now the houses don't really cost anything to build. In a future update, he's going to make it so that they have to have the same kind of wall blocks around these houses. So that'll be something of note, that you'll have to build walls to enclose your houses, put roofs on them. So that'll be a resource cost to get these built. But generally, the resource cost really comes down to what you'll find in the access here with the furniture. So I'll be able to get lots of wood as a focus, and wood, leather, fabrics, livestock, pottery, and furniture, and then that'll make them very happy when they have their houses set up. And yeah, you can see there we are exploding in our pop right now. Yeah, the way food preferences work is they'll go in and they'll randomly pick, since I have them get 2 meals, they'll pick, 2 food randomly from here, and every time they visit. And so if they are preferred foods, then it'll boost their mood more. So yeah, if I go over to their access, we can see it's already starting to jump up quite a bit. And yeah, some of them are starting to get houses as well, and that'll boost their housing need. And if I want to, I can also just chop down a bunch of these trees too, and then that way they will start to get I can look at letting them have wood in their houses. That'll make them happier too. Let's finish that road. I know the Tilapi like harmony as an environmental stat. Dirt roads provide a little bit of harmony, and eventually you can get tree decorations, and that provides even more harmony. So they're getting a little bit of a bonus from walking on these dirt roads. And let's get some more. Yeah, my meat production is going pretty fast. The leather's going. One of the other things that I should look at getting set up soonish is going to be the export depots and the import depots. So generally I just go for like minimum size for these export depots, because I don't produce enough right now to really worry about it, and I won't even worry about filling up them completely anyway. So I think I'll have them set up in this area actually. Let's get 1, 2, 6. There we go. That way I can potentially run 6 different item exports, because for sure I don't need the vegetables. I can just sell a lot of those off. I might need to sell off excess meat eventually, because I do want to get the livestock going. ASAP, just because then I get to produce more livestock. So that'll be something else to consider. Probably going to go for aurochs because they provide the most leather. They don't provide a lot of meat. Baltic crawlers, they're not very good for Tilapi to raise. The entolants are pretty good meat, right? They're higher meat than the aurochs, but less leather. These guys, it's not a good climate for them. These guys they produce cotton on the side, so this guy is meat and leather, and then the onyx is meat and cotton. So I'll probably go for these guys just because I'll be doing a lot more with leather as the Tilapi, because bows will need leather. And as for where to build them, well, the more fertile the soil, the more livestock per square that you can fit. So the high fertility zones are going to get you the most dense pasture sort of areas. I think I'm going to go also for a circular one too. I think I might do it in like this corner here, honestly. Like something like that. Maybe. I might just try to make it a little bigger. Like that. I think that'll be good. $35 livestock. I only really have 15 anyway, so while I tend to make really big ones and just let them fill up, honestly, it's not that big of a deal. Not at this stage anyway. So I'll just have one that's 35, 6 workers. 35 aurochs, 6 workers. Let's go. Put the gate on. Get some more Tilapi workers in. And I think what I can do is just give them like 1 pip of logs for now. There we go. So the export depots are going to employ somebody right away. I am going to set this to just sell off all the vegetables. Make a little bit of money there. Some of these I can just put to 0 for now. Leather, you know what? I think I'll just set the leather to, yeah, 80%, I think. That way I keep some. Do I? There we go, yeah. Went above 100 items, so then I'll sell it off. That way I keep a little bit of leather on hand. Who knows? I won't really need it, but not for a while. And then set that one to 0. And once this one's done, I'll set this one to 0 as well. I'm going to put this one to meat. And I'll set that to, say, 20% of stock. So if this starts to get full, then I'll put a worker in here and start selling off the extra meat. Oh yeah, and I will probably want to sell opiates at some point, but I don't think it's worth it to have a worker doing it right now. Yeah, you can see they got to do a little bit of furnishing so far. They put a little bit of wood on the floor. Yeah, we won't be able to get this fruit farm done until... do we have any fruits over here? Oh, we do. There we go. And then I think there's some... Yeah, there's some over here. There's mushrooms too, right? I guess I could sell the mushrooms. Yeah, let's just harvest all of that. The grain. Yeah, there's just really not a lot of edibles to exploit in this particular zone that I have. Because that's a good way to make money early on, is just to have them harvest edibles and then sell them. Well, it looks like we have some fruit down there. Because yeah, I don't even have any room to store the mushrooms or the grain. So might be good just to cancel some of those. Yeah, oh well. It's not a lot. It won't take them too long to do all of that anyway. And do I? Yeah, sure, why not? Let's just grab all of them. There we go. This is done. I'm going to put it on auto employ. And this, I'm going to set it up to 4. And let's go build that. And you know what? I will expand this road over here. So what do I want to get next? Well, I know carpentry is going to be a good option for the next sort of industry, because I do need it for furniture and also for building like the woodcutter and things like that. Woodcutter is probably the big priority, honestly, because then you get a constant supply of stuff. But I'm actually going to put a hearth here. That'll help boost their morale. They tend to not use hearths a lot unless it's like really cold and they don't have good cold tolerance. So I'll have them build that. And just double check to make sure I don't have... Yeah, so I shouldn't need to have anybody selling veggies right now anyway. And should probably plan out where I want this carpenter. Maybe further down here, because so then he'll be in between this zone. I think so. Let's try it. I don't usually go for round stuff. Is that okay? Kind of. Kind of not. 2, 3, 4. Not a fan of that. Let's just make this a little bit bigger. And then put you down here. Yeah, and then I'll want to make him a little wider on this side, honestly. There we go, lots of room to wander around. And then yeah, I think I need to do that. Oop, nope. Hey. Blah. Fine. Workbench. Do I have any workbenches that can fit in here? Probably not, to be honest. I know you can get some like really small ones like this. Might be what you have to do. And then the auxiliaries. One, two, three, four. Let's see, do I have a better way of putting these guys in? Probably not. Things you do to make it look pretty. Because, yeah, I can't really put one there. But I can do that. A little odd, but hey, it works. 21 employees, that's a pretty good size. I'll make lots of furniture. So let's go set up some doors. I think that's good for doors, actually. It's going to cost a lot of wood. But hey, boom. Let's go. Get that built. And then dirt road. Let's make a nice big wide dirt road here. Sure. I mean, there are ways of doing like diagonal roads too, but I always have a problem figuring out exactly how the number of sizes for it, because you can go to like the line tool here and then you can increase it and decrease it so that it makes it automatically for you. Pretty useful. Let's see, how are they doing for food? Yeah, it's at 24. If I wanted this higher, I could bump this up more. They do get happy based on the stockpile of food. So the higher my food rations go, the lower the food days go. So I then have to bump that up more. But yeah, you can see their food preferences sitting hovering around middle here. And I think that's because, yeah, they're occasionally eating some vegetables out of here because it loaded some in here. And they won't empty it out completely until that's done. But hey, fruit farm's ready. And this guy here, oh, he's making some eggs. So we get a little bit of eggs every now and then, 2 out of here. And as for, I think it is, oh yeah, I need wells. That's another big thing that I need. Where do I want to put the well? I might just... You're not symmetrical with the throne, are you? Oh well. You know what? I'll put them here. Yeah, wells are useful for making them happy too, so they're pretty easy to get. That's probably the more priority out of anything to build at this point, because then it'll help boost my population even more. Yeah, here they go, building the carpenter. And I'm gonna start designing the woodcutter now, so I'm gonna actually make it a bit of a cutoff here so that it leaves those harvestables for now. But yeah, if you just spread this over just empty territory, it's not actually going to like add production. So you do want to try to cover trees. So you can see the output went up just for highlighting a little bit of trees here. And there's kind of a dimension size limit to this thing anyway. So let's just start capturing some more of this. Grab that, grab that, grab him. And you know what? I'll cut off there because that should let me put a storage in here. How big? Yeah, let's go there. Put you in. Yeah, these are these auxiliaries that increase the efficiency. They're the things that cost furniture. So put him in there. Try to find some open spots. So you do want some open spots when you design this thing, or else then you can't put any of these down. Now you can build one of these without the auxiliaries and then just add the auxiliaries later through a rebuild. So that's a 92, 98, there we go, 100. So it's going to cost 108 furniture to build this. And it'll employ 27 people. And that'll pretty much hold me off for all of my wood needs for quite a long time. So let's just do that. And eventually, yeah, okay, so the well is done. That's going to make them happy as well. Look at that, plus 14 people want to come in. At a certain point, I stop like mass immigrating, so then I'll cut it down so it's not like a full, so I'm not pulling in everybody, except I double clicked, so I did pull in everybody. That way you don't like shock your population so much. So I'm gonna leave it on just a little bit. Oh, and we can see I can now start exporting meat. So I'm just going to do that. Let's export meat. Another thing I will want to do is to build a storage warehouse for wood. And I'm going to put it over here, wooden furniture. And then that way I can shift around some of the stuff in this stockpile over here. And And I think I'll just do that by... There we go. That'll be plenty of storage for this. 95% isolation, that's okay. I'll actually put them on this side. There we go. So yeah, they won't be able to completely build this. They're going to prepare the land for it. They'll bring the stones over. In fact, I should get some more rocks cleared. There we go. So it'll take a while for these guys to produce enough furniture to build this, but let's get some extra odd jobbers in the system. Now the hearth is going. Oh, I'm out of wood. There we go. Chop down some more trees. Because that's going to mess with my carpentry. And, you know, let's immigrate a few more people. How's that doing? 50%. Apartments aren't quite full. Let's just clear this. Construct notifications out. They're still getting some problems with their food supply here. And I'm gonna build some more apartments here. Queue them up anyway. Got a surplus of 14 workers. Yeah, you'll be able to... They add in a recipe so that you can make weapons by using wood and stone. It doesn't make very many weapons, but it's a source, a low-tech source, which is kind of nice. But for the most part, this is once I get this woodcutter going, I'll be very sustainable, honestly. If you keep your population low, and you get a decent system going, because in this case I'll have wood. Wood can go into carpentry. Carpentry can go into furniture. Furniture is a really useful resource to stockpile up as well, because I'll need it for some of the other services, like the lavatory here. Some of these other ones. I know, yeah, the nursery will also need fabrics as well. Just kind of where like the next thing to go into is. But when it comes to crafting, the boiler needs carpentry as well, and then some of these other ones, like pottery, doesn't need it, but you will also need metal. So that's where exporting comes, saving up money. Right now I don't need the metal right now, but when I do, I'll have a little bit of money saved up by then. When you do grow your population big enough, you'll be able to start training people for your militia. And it's a good idea to train just a small population, just so that you can get that. The way that it'll work is in the conscripts tab, it'll try to just fill these guys up, and because there's no training set up here, they'll just do the basic amount, which will then turn them into soldiers, but very bad soldiers, but they still help deter raids. In this case, because the Tilapis are really good at archery, they're super accurate with it, you might want to just have like one really good squad of archers. So I could just say, you know, go in and like pick either a bow symbol or arrow symbol and just be like, okay, here, these guys are going to be my my archers, and then I'll like set it so that they get maximum bow, and this is their what this will do is it'll give them, it penalizes their melee and their movement speed, but it makes them just ridiculously good at shooting at stuff, like extra range, extra damage. And you just drop that down, and they don't even need armor really, and then you can just boost this up, which makes them a lot more accurate, and then they become basically a professional soldier. Takes them a long time to train, and so you might want to start with just a small population, train them up, and then work your way up from there. And then you could just have like a conscript group that their job is to just get the bare minimum, and then they just go out and help to deter you from getting raided. Because when it is just the bare minimum training, it doesn't take them too long, and then they go back to the workforce, right? Once they hit that minimum training, then they just go. They go their own way. You don't have to worry about them. And let's see, do I need more wood? I think I'll need to chop down some more trees. But yeah, these are the Tilapi anyway. Cannibal. Apparently they like cannibalism. So, or they're okay with it anyway, but honestly I make so much meat that I don't know. Do you need to cannibalize? I think, where is it in the... Yeah, there it is. So, butcher corpses for meat. So, I think like if you had a gladiatory ring, then you could just eat the dead gladiators with this instead of burying them. Because yeah, otherwise you have to put them in a grave. I think the Tilapi do like do they like graves? Let's see, graveyards a little bit, just a tiny bit. It's a 1. Let's see, what compared to say humans? G. Oh yeah, they have the same modifier. So that is a pretty good way of boosting morale, is to build a graveyard, even if you don't have corpses. Just the availability of graves makes them happy, so it's useful. Let's build more road. Yeah, you can see here the merchant is buying my meat. And so that'll actually pop up here if I click on this. I have earned, because some of it's spoiling, but yeah, I've exported 418 right now, so that's gonna make me some money. And they're slowly eating away the I think the vegetables are just spoiling, honestly, because I disabled it from them eating it, actually. Oh no, they're eating it. And I think once this is done, the next thing that I would probably work towards is the laboratory. Because the labs, that'll give me science, and that'll allow me to unlock stuff. So that'll be useful. And you know what, let's get 10 people. 10 extra people. I think at this point I'm mostly just gonna wait for the carpentry to get done. Done producing for the woodcutter. Because if I grow too big, they're gonna start getting picky. And I don't have the necessary loop of things. Right? I don't have enough meat being produced because the livestock here isn't growing enough. I could set up more hunters and just clear this area out, but then I'd run out of meat really fast once you kill off all your animals. And yeah, I'm just not in a rush to go anywhere anytime soon. So sometimes you don't need to just keep doing things, you can just wait. But yeah, this is done, so let's actually set this up. I'm gonna have at least 4 here, and then I'll set it to fetch. And then we'll put 4 furniture in there, and that leaves me with 2 spots open, and I can just use it for pretty much whatever. And I can go back over here and I can bump this down. I'll probably keep this at, yeah, I'll leave it at 0 honestly, and put you up and then set you down there. So now I can do things like grain. Do I want mushrooms? Do I have anything else I need? Because I have 1 more crate spot. Decisions. What do I want more as of the last spot in here? I think with this, I'll probably just do the bow for 1 of those spots. And what is my fishing like, honestly? I don't think it'll be... It's okay. I think that was a... What was it? That's a 75. Tilapi don't really care about fish, so I'll just leave it. I won't do any fishing. And I think I'll just leave that crate empty for now. Might be a good idea to put mushrooms in there, just to bring him in. Yeah, let's do that. And then down here, I might do paper. Because paper is another wood type resource, so. But I think I'll call it for the video there. Because at this point, it's just, you know, waiting for the next benchmark, which is getting that done. And, I mean, you can set up an import, and you can import furniture and try to get it done faster. But at this point, I'm not pulling in enough resource to make enough money to really get through that. And I'd rather save my money for metal import, because it takes a while to get to metal. So I'll call it for the video there. Probably not gonna do a continuation of this. I might not, but I consider this a pretty good way to show how to grow your population relatively quick, because I'm already over 85 right now, and got a pretty okay situation set up, and you can just kind of chill out and then grow at your own pace. Take care.